Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Gloria Lele for those who are new here, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please make sure you do subscribe. And thank you for all those who have subscribed, who have watched my videos. Thank you for clicking to my videos and watching them, guys. And today's video is an interesting one because this is the video that all of you have been waiting for. This is a video that is a part 2 of my pregnancy journey, of which it will be a part 2 of, it will be like my third trimester and delivery journey, and how my parents found out about my pregnancy. Okay guys, let's get into it. And the other time I told you about how I was pregnant during my internship, and actually I finished my internship when I was I was 7 months pregnant, and I went back to Nairobi. And when I went back to Nairobi, I thought I was going to be sleeping, watching movies, but no, that was not the case. And there's something I never told you guys during my second trimester, and that is I had heartburns, really bad heartburns, and they were a nightmare to me. So I could just sleep with the milk in my water bottle and try to take them at night, but it could not ease anything. It's just diluted or worsened my heartburn. And the other thing that I hated during my pregnancy were those IFAS medicine, those that they give you when you go for clinics. I really hated. They smelled so bad. I really hated them. And there was a time that I could skip not taking them, but my baby daddy usually come and count the medicine. So at times I could throw them away, so that when he comes during the weekend and counts them, they could add up. So I used to really hate those medicine, and I used to take them at night. After I've taken my dinner, I usually take those medicine so that when I sleep, I don't feel that urge of throwing up. So guys, I went to Nairobi after my internship, and there I was heavy, I was fat. I even remember when people can be so bad. I remember when I finished my internship and I went to Nairobi, I nilishuka town hapo karibu Lofa Travelers, and I was looking for a car to go to my place, and there was this conductor aliniambia, unataka kuzaa? And guys, I felt so bad. It was like he was body shaming me, or it was like, I don't know why he did that, but I felt bad. And kitu ilikuwa imenifanyikia mbaya, I had due to travel or I don't know whatever, nilifika Nairobi. So nikiwa kwa gari nilikuwa nimetoa viatu. Kufika Nairobi, nataka kuvaa viatu nishuke kwa gari, hazinitoshi tena. Miguu zangu, my feet was so swollen. So nikatoka hapo nikakanyaga viatu ile unakanyagia juu, and ladies was so nice to me. Hao mama wa kuuza nguo, actually I really thanked them. There is one of them alinibaia Masai shoes, but I refunded her later. So alinibaia those Masai slippers, and I managed to wear them. Nikafika kwa nyumba. So I'm now in Nairobi. The only thing I'm doing right now in Nairobi is just going to the market, buying clothes for the baby, things for the baby. I was so ready. By the way, for the new moms who don't know what to do, you should buy clothes for the baby. As soon as you know that you are pregnant, you are supposed to buy clothes, the stockings, the trousers, all of those, the jackets, the sweaters, and don't forget kofia. Mimi nilisahau kofia. Actually, after I gave birth, it was my friend actually who alienda supermarket akanunua kofia. I don't know, I forgot them. But so during my 7 months pregnancy, I was preparing everything. And another thing, guys, once you know that you are pregnant, save that little amount that you have. Try to know how to save, because you don't know your delivery story, how it might go. Unaweza deliver through CS, of which is so expensive, or you can deliver normal and it is a bit cheaper. And especially if you have an NHIF card, because for the public hospitals, kama una NHIF card, you can use Linda Mama. But if you if you don't have an NHIF card, you can use Linda Mama. But if you have an NHIF card or you are registered with an NHIF card, you can't use Linda Mama. You can use either your NHIF card. Kama haina pesa, you have to pay cash, of which it might be expensive. So learn to save, learn to pay for your NHIF card. So that is very important, guys. So niko hapo, and I used to go to my friend. That one actually really helped me, ilinisaidia sana. So I used to stay in the house. Afternoon I take my lunch and I just stroll, natembea to my friend's place. She used to live not far from where I used to live. I used to live in Kawash and she used to live in Zimmerman. So nilikuwa natoka naenda. When I'm coming back, I come back with more baby stuff and dinner to prepare. So hiyo ilinisaidia for exercise. And if you are pregnant, learn kutembea. Don't just sleep, don't just sit. Learn to always text hii kutembea ya jioni. It really helps. So it was now 7 months. I'm now clocking 8 months. And I was in my 8th month around, it was about 3 weeks to my delivery time according to my EDD. So that time, as usual, what I was doing, I was going to my best friend's place. So it was on a Sunday. I went to my best friend's place. She cooked. She's really a good cook. So I loved her cooking, especially when I was pregnant. So she prepared dinner, and my baby daddy was not there. He had gone to work. So I was all alone. So nikasema, at least I eat here. When I go back to the house, I just sleep. So and she bought me some, it was fruits and baby clothes. I remember watermelon, sikumbuki any other fruit. So I went back to the house as usual, na nguo nikaenda nikaziosha. That time it is around 7 p.m. in the evening. Nikaosha nguo zile nilibuy, of course, and I went to sleep. At around 5:30 a.m. in the morning, now on Monday, I started feeling cramps na nikakravia watermelon. So I woke up and ate that watermelon, and I went to pee, because when you are in your 3rd trimester, you tend to pee after every 2 minutes or 1 minute. You just go to the toilet, come back. Even when you are not seated yet, you go back again, pee, come back, heartburn, peeing. It is just a nightmare. And you are feeling heavy, you are feeling fat, you want to sleep facing up, and you cannot. You are only supposed to sleep facing the side. You can't sleep facing upwards. So I ate the watermelon, I went to pee. When I came back, I just threw up on the carpet, and the carpet it was bright. It was a bright carpet. So nimetapikia carpet, and ilifika tu kwa tumbo na ikarudi. So it was bado ilikuwa red like the watermelon. So nishaanza kusikia cramps, and I was like, what is this? So I went to Google Doctor, that is the YouTube. I googled home. Ikiwa hivyo, you must go for checkup. It might be a miscarriage. Oh, no. Never Google anything. In case of anything, just go seek help from the doctor or anybody or your gynecologist. So nikalala nikasema, acha nisikie bado venye itaenda. So when I was sleeping, the cramps are coming and going away, until they became consistent. So I went to the toilet to pee again, and this time I saw blood. Na nikashtuka, and I knew that was a miscarriage. I started even crying, and I didn't even call my baby daddy. So I told my friend, I called her, no bestie, I told her I was seeing blood, and she hakutaka kunionyesha, like she was terrified. So she told me, don't worry, just go to the hospital right now, I'm coming. So I went to the hospital, and she followed me. Hata kuna so she never did anything. So she came. She's such a best friend. So she came to before she reached the hospital, I actually called her. I told her, because when I got to the hospital, nikapata watchman hapo. Then I told him, I went to see the nurse. Then he told me, mama, masaa ya clinic haijafika. Then I told him, no, sijakuja for clinic, because that's not the hospital that I used to go for clinics. I told him nasikia weird, I'm feeling crampy. Then alikaenda akaamsha nurse. The nurse was so nice, alikuja akaniambia she wanted to check me, to check my cervix if I dilated, and she checked me, and it was not actually painful. I usually hear people say it is painful, but it was not painful. I didn't feel any pain. So she checked me and she told me I was 8 centimeters dilated, serious, 8 centimeters, and I was still in the house. I could give birth any minute. If not for my friend who told me to go to the hospital, I could actually give birth in the house all alone. And my cue this time, I've not told my parents that I'm even pregnant. But I think my mom had knew it somehow. I don't know how, but I think she had knew it. So the nurse gave me porridge, and she forced me actually to take the porridge, because at that time I think they were contractions. Now they were coming and going, and they were so strong right now. So I didn't want anything. I was now starting to be pale. Nilikuwa nimeanza kuwa white, like pale, and my lips were cracking. I just looked worse. So I told my bestie, the nurse has told me I'm dilated 8 centimeters, and she's asking for baby's clothes. And before I left the house, after I noticed that I was bleeding, I usually, nikakumbuka, I used to hear people like saying, you can go to the hospital even if saa zingine ni false labor, saa zingine it is, the Kalenjin in me is trying to really come out. So I usually had people, so I just packed the baby's clothes in a bag, hospital bag. I packed the baby's clothes, my clothes, pampers, slippers, and towels, and everything, and the pads, those maternity pads. I packed everything. I was really ready, and I went to the hospital. So when the nurse told me that it was time for me to give birth, I just called my best friend and I told her to go to the house and bring everything that I put on the bed. So she went and she brought them, and now I called my baby daddy. I told him that I'm at the hospital. Nakashtuka, he came in less than maybe 10 minutes, because he was not that far. So when my bestie just arrived to the hospital, I was in labor room. Nilikuwa naimba kanungo. That thing, guys, it is not easy. It is like hell. I cannot explain. Labor is worse. It's like hell. I don't want to feel that pain anymore. When you come out of labor, you are just like, I will never give back. But I went through it, and I thank God. When I got to the hospital, there were people who came, I don't know, the previous day, and for me, I got there, and I labored for a few hours, because I got there at around 6:30, and by 9:22 a.m. I still remember. By 9:22 a.m. I had already given birth. Na haimaanishi uchungu inaisha hapo. The only thing that you are relieved is that feeling of the pregnancy feeling of kusikia vibaya, because for me I never liked meat. I really hated meat. But when I gave birth, I came back to normal. So that feeling inaisha, but the worst pain is coming. That is after giving birth, you have to heal, because for me it was I gave birth through natural way. I didn't go for cesarean section. So I was lucky. I gave birth through CS. Some people like CS, some don't. So for me, I didn't want CS. So I thank God, because I gave birth through the natural way. And the worst thing that I experienced, first of all, I was tired. I could not even breastfeed for long because I was tired, and I was lucky because nilikuwa na maziwa. It was God's grace, because I could see people in the hospital, they struggled to breastfeed, hawakuwa na maziwa, wanapewa dawa at least ya kuboost wapate maziwa. But for me, nurse alinitrain. Actually the odd thing, sikuwa najua kushika mtoto, because for me in my whole life I didn't have that thing for watoto, kuwa close na watoto. So when I gave birth to my own, sikuwa najua kumshika. So my husband and my bestie walinishikia, so they could just help me when I was breastfeeding. The nurse trained me how to breastfeed, and they could just help me through that. And I found people in the ward, and I was the first one to leave because nilikuwa na maziwa. And for me, after I gave birth, I used to eat. I didn't have appetite, but I forced myself to eat because I didn't want that environment of the hospital. It was inanuka dawa, and I hated that. So I had to force myself to eat, na luckily nikapata maziwa, and I went home actually the following day. And when I got home, no one had told me that after breastfeeding, your nipples will crack. My nipples cracked, and the pain that I felt, I could literally cry. Nilikuwa nasikia kulia, but you cannot cry while the baby is crying. That was the worst thing. And no one told me kuna cream ya kupaka. I didn't have any idea, and I thought that was the consequences of not telling my mother everything so that she could guide me. But after a few days, nika heal, and it got better. And now I've come home from the hospital. My sister is calling me, and she told me that she had to go to work, and the house girl had gone to Ushago, so she needed my help to take care of her baby. And now I'm just from the hospital, I can't go anywhere, and she doesn't know that I have a baby. So I think my mom alimwambia anipime because walikuwa wananishuku that there is something going on, or maybe someone told them. So my sister kaniambia hivyo, nikamwambia, so sikuwa na excuse nyingine, so nikamwambia mlete tu mtoto wako hapa nimchunge na wangu. And she was like, I knew there was something going on, na nikajua huyu atakimbishia mamangu. So she told my mom, and before my mom called me, I told my mother-in-law, and she actually called my parents and told them everything. Wakaongea, and actually there was nothing that serious that I was afraid of. So I just regret it. The only thing I regret was not telling my mom on time, but I thank God anyway. Guys, there is a lot I wish to tell you, but this video, I don't want it to get any longer. There are postpartum depressions. I almost fell into it. It is not that because of anything, but because I was a young mom. I've not yet graduated. I graduated with a young baby. He was around 4 months old or 3. There's a lot, guys. I'll tell you in another video. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for always supporting me. Make sure you like this video, guys. It really helps in growing my channel. And make sure you comment. It really means a lot, guys. I'm waiting for your comments. And if you need any content, please don't hesitate to tell me down in the comment section. Make sure you tell me the comments that you will wish for me to do, and your wish is my command. I will surely do them. Anyway, thanks and bye. See you next time.